Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today we need to talk again about pull rates and secret rares from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. You see, yesterday I showed you a video where we looked at the pulls that the lovely folks over on the official YouTube channel got in a box of Pokemon Scarlet. Well, would you believe it, ladies and gentlemen? Today they've done and opened a box of Pokemon Violet, and that means we can go and have a look at the pulls that they got, which is lovely, and we can go and have a look at which lovely secret rares they pulled. And yes, there are some new ones, and let's not bury the lead, ladies and gentlemen. There's a new Okacheke card. I know! There's an Okacheke Mabastiff, and I am loving it. It's actually a card we've not had a chance to look at yet, so today's a good excuse to have a chat about this one. But for me, just first of all, I mean, look, you all know I'm an Okacheke fanboy at this stage. I've made no secret of that. I love me some Okacheke, but goodness me. It seems like every set, Okacheke just keeps coming out with new cards that are somehow maybe even a little bit better than the ones we've seen in the past. Now, I will say, in this set specifically, I still think I'm leaning towards Tatsugiri, and in terms of the best one in the set. But to be clear, just in Scarlet and Violet, we've seen the Tatsugiri, and we've seen Picnic Basket, the first item card that Okacheke has gone and done. And there's also a Drowsy that I don't think I've actually mentioned in any videos yet, so sorry for that. The past few days have been absolutely ridiculous news-wise, so you will have to forgive me if I'm, not getting to everything all the time. And now we've got this Mabastiff in here as well. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, all of the yes. Is it a good card? It actually is. I'm not loving the attack. Free energy 160, it does 30 to itself. I'm going to be honest with you, I can take it or leave it. But I absolutely am loving the ability here. And the ability says that once during a turn, you may have your opponent switch their active Pokemon with one of their bench Pokemon. Yeah, it's really good. It's a stage 1, which is a little bit awkward, I grant you. But basically, every turn, you can make your opponent switch their active and kind of sit there laughing at them while they do. We've seen that making your opponent switch their active with cards like Escape Rope can be super duper annoying. So now you get to do that, but you get to do it literally every turn, and you don't have to switch yourself. Your opponent's got a Pokemon in the active you can't KO or it's blocking you. Make them switch. You can KO any of their bench, but not their active. Make them switch. They've only got one bench Pokemon. Yeah, that's basically just free gusting at that point. Really cool card. Okacheke artwork. Absolutely love it. Now, somewhat annoyingly, they've also gone and pulled a Pawmot here. Now, the reason the Pawmot annoys me is because this was very blurrily revealed in a video. And I've got a video coming later on today, early tomorrow, looking at this card. So we're going to have to, we'll have to figure that one out later. For the time being, it's a Pawmot. It is actually the same Pawmot, like literally exactly the same card that we see coming as a pre-release promo for us. It's one of our pre-release promos, which is kind of cool. So, if you like Pawmot, you're eating good. We've looked at this card, and we're going to look at it in a video in the not-too-distant future. So, we're not going to spend too much time on this one now, but it's an interesting card, put it that way. But then we've got Scovillain. Now, this is another card which I was not necessarily expecting to go and be getting an artwork rare. For me, I appreciate the artwork. It's not my favourite. Come on, in any video where you're giving me a new Okacheke card to look at, I'm afraid that is going to occupy my mind more than any of the others, but that does not mean this is not an extremely cool card, because it very obviously is an extremely cool card. It's one we haven't had a chance to look at on this channel yet, so we should probably have a quick look at what it does, shouldn't we? I should mention I'm doing all these translations myself. So we got a stage 1 Pokemon here, and for a single energy, we are doing 20 damage plus burn. It's a stage 1 Pokemon. I'd honestly want a little bit more if that doesn't sound too greedy. And then we've got free energy, 90 damage, but if you've got any fire energy attached, then you do 90 more damage, 180 in total. Which is fine. It's alright. There's nothing in this card that makes me super duper duper happy, except for the fact that I translated it really simply. It's fine, but the artwork is extremely cool. I think we can all agree on that. And it is important to note, there were free artwork rares in this box. Just like there were free artwork rares in the box we saw yesterday. So, it's 2 boxes, it's a very small sample size. No, it does not guarantee by any stretch of the imagination that every one of these is going to have free. But it's starting to look a lot like it, isn't it? Now, what's really cool here is we've also got ourselves a secret rare, as you might expect. It's Miriam. Now, this is a card where it's going to see a lot of play, right? It is going to see a lot of play. And to be fair, we were expecting all of these supporter cards to get full arts, so it's not a surprise it's getting one, we just get to see it now. Miriam basically lets you shuffle 5 Pokemon from your discard pile into your deck, and then draw 3 cards. And as I told you the other day, the fact that you're recovering Pokemon and then drawing, legitimately big deal. Like, huge deal. This is one of those cards, it's not flashy. It's not a really exciting card. But it's just going to see a huge amount of play. Because people need to recover their Pokemon, and here they get to do so while drawing cards. This is not a big, flashy, exciting card. It's just going to see a lot of play because it's really, 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 really good. So, yeah, there's that. Somewhat sadly, we saw Lechonk's Evolution Oinkologne in the previous box. So we've now seen 2 boxes be opened, one of which had a full art supporter and one of which had a full art Pokemon. So it really does seem like in a box you basically get either 1 full art supporter, 1 full art Pokemon, 1 gold card, or 1 special art rare, like the amazing Gardevoir. And that does make me a little bit sad here, because we know from the English description of the cards there's going to be 10 of these special art rares, and it looks like you're going to have to buy a few boxes to really kind of get a special art rare, or get really lucky. And there is a feeling that these special art rares are going to be really hard to get hold of, and that could end up being a little bit of a pain for me. I think the pull rates on these special art rares, like I say, it's one of 4 different types of secret rares in a box. These special art rares are not going to be that easy to get hold of. So, you have been warned. Now, in terms of Pokemon EXs, just like we saw in the previous box, we get 4 of the 6. We got ourselves Arcanine, Miraidon, Magnezone, and Iron Treads. So then, of course, I come along and I'm like, alright, who can guess, well, maybe not even guess, who can figure out which of the 2 EXs in the set were not pulled in this box? It was Spidops and Bayonet, if anybody's wondering. Those are the 2 that weren't pulled. So like we saw in the previous video, it's kind of cool here. There are 6 EXs in the set, and you are getting yourself 4 of the 6 per box. If you're not worried about pulling, your artwork rares and your special art rares, 1 box you'll be missing 2 EXs and maybe a couple of holos. Collecting the set is going to be extremely easy to do. Artwork rares, you're basically getting like 3 out of 12, which is less good. So if you're trying to collect it with the artwork rares, it's going to be more difficult. And the special art rares, I'm going to be honest with you, I intend collecting the artwork rares. I think it's doable. I'm going to probably collect these sets without the special art rares for pretty obvious reasons. But as a whole here, like we saw in the previous box, 3 artwork rares, 1 secret rare, and 4 of the 6 EXs. One of the things I find really interesting here, this has the only Terrestrial in the set, that is Arcanine. The previous box we saw opened had the only Terrestrial in the set, which for that set was Gyarados. Does that mean you get because only 1 terrestrial Pokemon per set, remember. Does that mean that every time you buy a box, you will get the terrestrial Pokemon from that set? I don't think so. I think, and that we don't know this is just my assumption based on what we've seen, it looks like you get 4 of the 6 EXs. So you have a 2/3 chance to get any of the EXs, including the Terastal, and certainly 2 boxes is a horrendously small sample size, so let's not get too excited here. But honestly, the fact you're getting 4 of the 6 EXs alone is pretty cool. From a main set, getting 4 EXs, a secret rare, and 3 artwork rares per box, yeah. I was collecting Japanese sets in the Sword and Shield era, and I know we've got the lovely silver borders in English now, but fair to say I'm going to keep collecting them in this era as well. I'm a Japanese set dude, plus I'm trying to learn, well, I'm not trying to learn, I am actively learning Japanese, so the more Japanese stuff I've got hanging around, the better. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about all of this. I want to know how much you love the Okacheke. I want to know anything you want to tell me, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord where we chat, have an awful lot of fun, and of course get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Evan Parker, who's been a supporter of ours for a few months now and seems to be a very lovely person. So thank you very much for being a lovely person. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.